on behalf of the Caribbean community, as well as Honduras on behalf of the community of Latin American and Caribbean states, and Uganda on behalf of the non-aligned movement. I wish to acknowledge the presence of the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Cuba, His Excellency Bruno Eduardo Rodriguez Parrilla, and welcome him and his delegation to this important session of the General Assembly. Mr. President, Belize unequivocally condemns the illegal and unjust unilateral economic, commercial, and financial embargo imposed on Cuba by the United States of America and calls for its immediate and unconditional end. The long-standing blockade is in blatant violation of international law and the principles enshrined in the United Nations Charter, infringing on Cuban sovereignty and its inherent right to determine its own political, free from external interference and coercion. This embargo has inflicted severe economic hardship on the Cuban people, cutting off access to essential goods, services, and resources needed for their development. Its impact has stifled growth across all sectors of society, from healthcare, education, infrastructure, and energy. The 2020 global health crisis further exposed the inhumanity of such policies, as Cuba struggled to procure medical supplies and critical resources, despite its commendable efforts to provide medical assistance and vaccines to other nations in need during the pandemic. Mr. President, the embargo is not only a barrier to Cuba's economic development, but fundamentally restricts its capacity to protect its people against crises, such as the escalating impacts of climate change and natural disasters, which have become more frequent and severe. The recent devastation and loss of life from Hurricane Oscar, compounded by Cuba's ongoing energy challenges, highlight the embargo's crippling effect on the country's capacity to prepare for, respond to, and recover from emergencies. This is the stark reality of the embargo, a policy that only serves to inflict immense suffering, denying the Cuban people their most fundamental human rights. It is a policy that stands in direct opposition to the international community's clear and united call, repeated year after year in this very assembly, for its Belize further condemns the arbitrary and baseless designation of terrorism by the United States, which only serves to perpetuate a narrative that is not reflective of the principles or actions This designation only exacerbates the challenges the Cuban people face. Belize calls for the immediate removal of Cuba from this list and encourages the United States to resume the path of dialogue and diplomacy that respects Cuba's sovereignty and the rights of its people. Mr. President, despite these unjust obstacles, Cuba has continued to exemplify resilience, solidarity, and generosity, providing invaluable support to our region. Their commitment to mutual aid and cooperation has been transformative for Belize, significantly enhancing our national capacity in key areas such as healthcare, education, sports, and cultural development. Cuban doctors and medical professionals frequently deployed to Belize have provided vital health services for our people, helping to address medical needs in underserved communities and enhancing our healthcare infrastructure overall. In education, Cuba's scholarship programs have allowed over 200 Belizean students to pursue advanced studies in fields important to our national development, such as medicine. Additionally, Cuban technical experts have worked alongside our own, contributing valuable expertise and resources in areas such as agriculture, tourism, and climate change. These collaborations have built lasting capacities that will serve our country well into the future. The government of Belize reaffirms its unwavering commitment to standing in solidarity with the Cuban people. We will continue to call for the lifting of the economic, commercial, and financial embargo so that Cuba may rebuild its economy freely, fulfill its development potential, and provide a prosperous future for its people. Belize therefore fully supports Resolution A/79/L6 and will vote in favor of it. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Belize. I now give the floor to